What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we are coming in with Chronicles Part 9. Now, this is kind of approaching the grand finale. This episode may even be the finale. It's either going to be this one or the next one. Now, here's why. Originally, I planned for this to be a much longer series, but as I told the story, I edited out a lot of the things that I thought were going to be key points in the story that turned out to not really be that essential. So I kind of condensed all the information into the series as much as I could to keep you guys entertained. So this is nearly the end. Now, in this episode, kind of similar to last episode, things are going to be a more serious tone. This isn't a lit fucking episode, right? This isn't lit at all. So, to start out, for those of you guys who haven't watched episode 8, I strongly recommend you guys go watch episode 8 right now. If you have, you recall how I mentioned the finale, the grand big bang of my binge, where I was sitting in my bed with what I believed was psychosis, tweaking the fuck out for like 3 days, right? That was basically the big bang finale of the binge. Not entirely, but the big moment, the turning point. Now, one thing that I haven't spoken on so far is my family life and how this impacted my situation at home. Because prior to the beginning of this series, I still lived with my mom. And I lived with my mom all the way until about a month ago. And it was going fine and dandy through the summer. And, I kind of gotten my life back together in terms of drug use, right? Then the summer came. I started doing coke every day. And it's fairly, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's really hard to hide, because coke is a drug that's pretty easy to hide the use of, right? Like, it's pretty easy to hide. However, what wasn't easy to hide was being out for days at a time, coming home at like 4 a.m. every fucking night. Because, listen, prior to the summer, I still went out. I still partied. I smoked and I drank. But I didn't do the shit I did on coke. I would literally vanish from my house for like 3 days at a time and just not come back, right? I would just be out and about all the fucking time, right? Like, just doing shit. And my mom would never know where the fuck I was. So finally, towards the end of this binge, I got hit with the hammer, which, honestly, due to this binge, I was expecting it was coming. I was told that I had 30 days to pack my shit and get the fuck out of my mom's house. Now, at first, I didn't really know what to do, right? I had money, but I kept spending all my money on fucking coke, right? So all my money was just going right back down the drain. So I thought in my head, I was like, yo, I have 30 days to get a bunch of fucking racks together and go out there and fucking get a crib, right? I don't have established credit. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do, right? I went into panic mode. And initially, instead of just being like, oh, it's time to man up, I got to deal with my problems. What did I do? I took the sum of money I did have, went straight to my coke plug, and bought a lot of fucking cocaine. Now, this was round 2 of me slanging it. In my head, instead of grinding YouTube or doing anything like that, doing my fucking job, I was just like, yo, boys, let's just slang some blow. So this is about the end of August, right? Towards the end of August, like second or third weekend. This is past the fucking little psychosis incident. I've got another half ounce of coke, right? I am hitting up everybody that I was serving back in July, being like, yo, who fucking needs it? Hit my line. I got deals right now. I would sell grams for $15 profit and then just go re-up. I didn't care, dude. I just wanted profit. So I'm slanging these grams as fast as I can. And the first day it was fine. The first day I remember, I actually didn't even do any. I managed to just slang it without selling any, and I was pretty proud of myself. That ended pretty quickly. Day 2 rolled around of having this coke, and, my mentality was still, I got to focus on the money with this re-up. This is money only, bro. I'm not even doing half a gram of this. Lo and behold, I go link up with, what name did I give her? Alyssa? Ashley in the first video? I link up with Ashley and her friends again. And it's just that environment, Ashley, attractive woman, other attractive women around. What am I going to do? Cocaine. What else do you do around attractive women? So, of course, I bust out the blow and start fucking doing it in this social scenario. And then it just spiraled one final time. This was the last little fucking, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it a relapse because it never officially stopped. The last little cycle before I finally broke it. And I'll get to that a little later. But I start doing blow with them. I'm whipping home geeked after I serve them, do some coke with Alyssa or Ashley and her friends, excuse me. And I whip back to my house and I'm chilling, right? Now, at this point, I'm already geeked and I'm sitting there like, yo, dude, I don't really want to come down because I was scared of the come down. I was scared of the come down. At this point, my mindset had changed because I got the coke in me. It went from oh, I don't want to do coke again, so I have to deal with that come down, to now I'm already on coke and I was terrified of one of those psychosis scenarios again. So what did I do? Snort my way right back into it. I just kept railing coke and I was like, if I don't come down, I'll be good. And that is where your mind gets scary on cocaine. That is where coke addiction gets fucking terrifying, because your mind just completely flips the switch on itself without you even realizing, until I'm sitting here now talking about it past tense, right? At that time, I was like, oh, dude, if I just keep doing blow, I'll just, I won't have to deal with those shitty side effects. And I just kept rationalizing shit. In reality, all the shitty side effects came back. I didn't go into a psychosis because this wasn't a 3-day binge. This binge only lasted about a day and a half. But my fucking God, I went right back into it and ended up railing maybe an 8-ball out of the half ounce I was supposed to sell. Now, this was over a span of maybe 2.5 days total. 1.5 day being binge, another day just being trap day, right? So, of course, I'm sitting here and listen, y'all can be like, damn, Goblin, it took you 2.5 days to move a half ounce of blow, man. You ain't trapping. Damn right I'm not, dude. YouTube's my job. I don't fucking sell drugs. I just know druggies. So, hey, it took me a day or two to move that fucking half. But nevertheless, we got that bitch gone. So, either way, back on topic here. I'm railing this blow on this binge. My nose is just hurting the more I do it. And finally, I sell the last of my coke. And let me tell you, one of the hardest decisions I had to make during this binge was when I had my last gram and I had to decide whether to sell it or rail it. And I'm sitting there in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Because when I sold it, it was on that second day. And I was still geeked. It was just the middle of me doing my coke while selling my coke. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, fuck, man. Do I sell this shit right now? Or do I fucking snort it? And I was just trying as hard as I could to take my mind off of the fact that I was getting kicked out of my house, right? Because it wasn't like I would have nowhere to go. I wasn't going to be homeless, right? I had enough money. I had enough money to live in a hotel for a month if I had to, but I wasn't going to have to, right? I could figure something out. I could go ahead and find some sort of apartment, which I ended up finding a house. I live in a house now, but nevertheless, I'm just trying to avoid my problems. And I did the same thing with this getting kicked out scenario that I did with the breakup, where I just did a fuckload of drugs at first to avoid my problem. However, before getting kicked out and after kind of attempting to slow down in that little middle area, I had some moments of clarity to actually fucking think about shit, right? And one of the things that kind of kept me grounded was remembering how badly I wanted to quit that last binge, remembering how badly I wanted to change and thought I got over it and kept telling myself, oh, I'm better than that. Oh, I don't need drugs to fucking get over that bitch. Whatever, dude. Well, lo and behold, that came into effect here too. Very luckily. I remember once again being in that same shit scenario of just laying in my bed, coming down, right? Just waiting to fall asleep. Not as bad this time because I wasn't tweaking out and hearing shit, but just laying there waiting to fall asleep. And the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, damn, bro. What the fuck's the point? I just sat there thinking, yo, what is the point? I'm still going to be kicked out in 30 days. Doing cocaine is changing nothing. What the fuck is the point, And finally, that night, I just said, fuck it. I'm done. I took the money I got off that half ounce. I made a decent amount of money. I took the money I made off that. I didn't re-up. Instead, I re-upped on something else. I was like, listen, there's no way I can kick this cup sober, right? I can kick this habit. I need some loud. So I hit up my Coke man and I'm like, listen, bro, I know I'm normally a Coke customer, but what kind of pack you got? I need at least a zip, right? He's like, oh, bro, you're in luck. I just got some Cali in. I'm like, bet. And hey, everyone says they got Cali in. Was it really Cali? Maybe. I trust the guy, so probably. But nevertheless, it was gas either way. I go and grab off him. I grab a zip. Go back to my house. Now, I am just smoking my lungs away for the rest of this 30 days until I got kicked out of my house, right? I'm talking every day to deal with the coke fiends. Every time I was fiending or thinking about an upper or thinking about coke, I'd just go to my garage and smoke a blunt and I'd feel a little better. Not all the way better, but it would help. And one of the hardest things I had to do was, I remember like the second or third day after like actually quitting right here in this video, which I'm talking about, right? Actually fucking quitting the blow. Opening my desk, and I used to keep all my coke in my desk, right? In the little drawer. And opening my desk, and there's just powder spilled all over. There's just little bits of white powder and coke. Obviously, it's coke. There's just little bits of the white fucking chunks all over my desk. And you could tell they're coke. They're glistening. They're gleaming. They're not tiny chunks. These are tiny, tiny little rocks, like little chunks. And one of the hardest things that I did is I took a debit card, 2 debit cards actually, to scrape them up. I took 2 debit cards, scraped it all up, put it onto a card, and I took that debit card and I walked up to my bathroom and I dumped it in the toilet. And that was one of the hardest fucking things I've ever done, because the whole time I'm looking at that desk and I froze when I first opened my desk. I looked down and I'm like, oh shit. The shits is here. Like, damn, bro. Damn. You know, like I'm just sitting here like, yo, I want to gum that shit. Like, it wasn't like, I could have done lines out of it, but it would have been too much work. So I just wanted to gum it. But like, it took everything in my power to not gum that coke. Like, I actually fought through it. I had to think happy thoughts while I was scraping this coke up to go dump it in the toilet. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never in my life genuinely felt that I was addicted to a substance. Weed maybe mentally. However, coke was the first time that I genuinely felt addicted to a substance. And yeah, I'm still addicted. Does that mean I'm doing it? No. But just because you stop doing it doesn't mean you're not addicted. That's something important that y'all little crackheads out there got to learn. Just because you stop doesn't mean you're not addicted. It just means you're not actively addicted. But if you pick that shit back up, you're going to be right back where you left off. And that's the most important piece of fucking knowledge right there. Because for me, right now, I know that if I went and grabbed a half ounce of coke right now, I'd pick back up right where I left off, right? Now, have I never done cocaine again after this? One time I have. One time I have in a social scenario. That was about 3 weeks ago, right? Since then, I haven't done cocaine, and it wasn't my coke either. I didn't blow my back, right? I just took an offer. So nevertheless, hey, y'all gonna hate in the comments for that. But listen, man, it's a fight. It's a fight. I gotta be honest with y'all. But nevertheless, you know, scraping that in my toilet was so difficult. And after that, I spent the next about 3 weeks I had left before I got booted out of my house just trying to find a home, trying to find somewhere to live. And my plan was like, I kept applying for apartments, housing rentals, trying to find independent landlords that weren't companies, so they might not be as, you know, mean about my credit and my age, because I'm a 20-year-old kid who's not in college, a high school dropout with no credit. I am not your ideal fucking tenant, right? On paper, I'm not your ideal tenant. But once you get me in that bitch, I'm going to cough up the money every month, baby. You never getting a late payment. And, hey, my current landlord knows that much. Hey, my rent's paid all the way through the fucking year, dude. But nevertheless, so back on topic here. You know, it just... I'm trying to figure out a way to word this to kind of bring it all together here. But I guess the importance of this part of the series, and the reason that I want to end it off on this kind of note, is because I wanted to get fucking real with you guys and make you guys understand that there's fucking consequences, right? I got kicked out of my house. If it weren't for YouTube giving me finances, giving me funding to actually move out on my own at this age, I'd be homeless right now because my mom was not folding. My mom was not folding. Like, there was no staying. There was no, can I change? It was get the fuck out. I don't care if you're sober, right? So I got the fat fucking boot, right? I got the fat boot because of this. And on top of that, due to this binge, dude, I don't talk to anyone in my family except my fucking mom, dude. My grandma's mad at me because me and her got into a fight over the summer. I don't talk to anyone except my mom in this fucking family, dude. Like, literally. Coke fucked my life up. However, you also have to look at the bright side. Shit's kind of good when you can pull the benefits out of it, right? When you can look at a scenario like this one for me and go back and pull some information out of that, pull some knowledge out of that, that's when you're at least making the best of your scenario. And that's what I did. I learned a valuable fucking lesson. I learned A, fuck cocaine, and B, I learned that relationships are more important. Much more important than family. Or not than family. Family relationships are much more important than drugs. Because listen, prior to the summer, I was tight with all my homies, tight with my family, no beef. Then for some reason, as this summer progressed, I just started beefing with people. And during, while it was going on, I was just like, oh, it's them, dude. They're just jealous of my drugs. But really, it was just me being coked up and on edge all the time and just being a fucking dick sometimes, dude. For real. I was a douchebag over this past summer, and I'm very happy that it's finally done. With that being said, once the time came around to move out, I found a place. Here I am in my house, happy as can be. Not sober. I'm high as fuck right now, but not on cocaine. So nevertheless, I figure that's a good place to wrap up the Cocaine Chronicles. I didn't want to stretch it out for too long and make you guys bored, make you guys wait too much longer to wrap this up. Let's call it here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Thank you guys for watching this series from start to finish, for those of you guys that did. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.